Hey guys, it's Tricky Nick here. Smelly Nintendo recently announced out of the blue that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe will now have new characters added to the Booster Course Pass in waves 4 to 6. As it stands right now, there are currently 17 established Mario Kart fellas that aren't in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, not including the shite ton of costumes in Mario Kart Tour. So we're gonna take a look at each of these characters missing from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and rank them from least to most likely to return based on their significance, ease of implementation, and overall good looks, starting with Rob. As much as I absolutely adore Rob the Robot, it's just such an obscure addition to Mario Kart that I feel like Nintendo will never bring him back. Not to mention, the last time Nintendo made a model for Rob in Mario Kart was for the DS, which isn't exactly that detailed. It would also be really awkward to try to put Rob on a bike, a feat that no one has ever dared to attempt. Plus, a robot from a time where I didn't even exist makes no sense to have in Mario Kart 8. Then again, it didn't make sense in Mario Kart DS either, but they were smoking some dank making the roster for this game. Bicha is a simple clone of Peach that would be easy to implement into Mario Kart, but the issues lie within the first 7 words of this sentence. It would be totally absurd for Nintendo to have a clone character in the roster. Wait a second. Perhaps I overestimated them, but I already wrote this script, so we're gonna move on! Even though she has some relevance thanks to Mario Kart Tour, I just don't think Dixie Kong is gonna be added to the Mario Kart 8 roster. There are just so many more popular members of the Kong family that I feel Nintendo would spring to add before her. If you've seen my ranking of all the Mario Kart characters, you'd know that I love Wiggler so much. He's such a unique character, and he isn't too obscure to the point where Nintendo wouldn't consider bringing him back. So why is this carrying caterpillar so low on the list? Well, no offense to this little fella, but he's even more disproportionate than I am. This issue just makes it harder than it's worth to try to model Wiggler to fit on bikes and ATVs. Could you imagine if they actually added Wiggler and you could use the Wild Wiggler combo? Wigglerception. Koopa Paratroopa passes with flying colors being simple to model and a consistently relevant character. But it's far more likely that Koopa Troopa gets color variants instead. It's even easier than just using a Koopa Paratroopa model from the game. Honey Queen would be a pretty bizarre addition to Mario Kart 8's roster. Get it? I've outdone myself. It would somewhat make sense if she was added since Super Mario Galaxy was in the 3D All-Star collection, but I feel like it would be too much work to make a new model for her to race as. It's pretty likely the hive mind of Nintendo is gonna pick a lot of characters that they have newer models of, which is why Honey Queen is so low on this list. I'm a little biased here, but I love Captain Toad. I adore him. I know Toad is already a racer, but like, come on Nintendo, I really want to see Captain Toad racing too, even if it's just a costume for Toad. He's relevant, he's easy to add, he's a cutie. Wait a second. Yeah, he's a cutie. You've got to get him in Mario Kart 8. King Babam is another character that has recently exploded into Mario Kart Tour. He's somewhat relevant since he's such an iconic boss from Mario 64. Also, his design is incredibly unique to anything we've seen in Mario Kart 8, so his spot would feel really warranted. Unfortunately, like a lot of other characters on this list, it might be tough for such an oblong object to try to fit on bikes. But King Babam as a character is one I'd love to see added, even if the logistics of this guy are a little tough to figure out. Piranha has got to be the biggest character on this list. Unless you count Honey Queen and King Babam. Okay, maybe I lied. But he still has a big head. As large as Petey is though, I think he'd be easy to add and people would absolutely eat it up. He's such an iconic character, but those little leggies kind of hold him back. Hey Bill, hey Chris, how you doing today? Coming in at number 8 on this list is gonna be Chargin' Chuck straight out of Mushroom University for his rookie year racing. What a behemoth he is, Chris, and a super unique racer that I'm sure fans would love in Mario Kart 8. Is there really any point to this bit, Jeff? I'm not too sure, Samuel. We'll have to go to the studio with Bartholomew. Bartholomew, take it away, you greasy mother. Monty Mole isn't the most interesting character in the world, but I really like him in Mario Kart. He's a prime candidate to become a racer in Mario Kart 8, as he's already modeled within the game and he's always popping up in more and more areas. NABA is a unique character known for his frequent armed robberies of toads. He's a new character as well, which I think makes it even more likely that he'd be added to Mario Kart 8. The only slight setback I see with him is that he might be seen as too similar to Bowser Jr., as they both wear bandanas when holding Toad at gunpoint. Hammer Bros will forever go down in gaming history as one of the most annoying enemies that's ever been crafted. Why not add on to this reputation by giving him a chance to blue shell the homies in Mario Kart 8? Pauline is an obvious choice to bring to Mario Kart. Just look at those massive, beautiful, perfectly round eyes. Mario in general lacks a lot of female representation, so I think Pauline would be a nice addition to the roster. Also, she's become a staple of the lineups of the more recent Mario games, and her newfound relevance sense makes her a perfect choice. So how the scallop is she only ranked 4th place? Well, to answer that, we gotta look at the top 3. Kamek already has files in Mario Kart 8 that point to him being in the game at some point. It would be insane of Nintendo to let this opportunity for Kamek to shine fly away. There's no way they could shaft him from the roster again. But the fact that there's evidence of Kamek in the files makes it almost guaranteed that he'll be added. Diddy Kong is also almost guaranteed to be in Mario Kart. Almost every time you ask someone who should be in the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe roster that isn't, you get the answer of Birdo and Diddy Kong. He appeared in Mario Kart Wii and Mario Kart Tour, and he even has a toy based on Mario Kart 8. He's not even in the game, and he already has a toy based around him. Like, you have to add him at that point. They're gonna add Funky Kong to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. If they don't, Mamma Mia, I'm gonna have to give them something to cry about. This Tricky Nick production was brought to you by Pal EX, Robert, British Chicken, and Matthew P. Thanks for watching.